All right, I'm ready. Tell your wife to join the show.
Right now. Aldo says you can come on the show tonight.
I sound so sick.
She's been so sick.
Well, we all think sick is sexy.
Sick is the new sexy.
There you go. Tell her we need a video from her doing a hashtag Firefox like Canada did.
Yeah. Topless. Topless. Ottochian.
I'll tell her.
She got tenure? Make sure she's got tenure first.
Oh, no.
That's awesome.
Europeans love to go topless. You might have an in there.
Well, we're both off tomorrow morning, so I might be able to sneak the old iPhone out.
The Marcel sex tape.
Oh, man.
Released by an accident.
All right, fellas. Shall we try to make podcast history?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Leave it at that.
Yo, MC Fulfill, bringing it back for the Bears Barroom and the Barflies. Yeah. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Mumbling, grumbling, stammering, fumbling, stumbling. Coach John Fox, another presser fan, humbling. Over and over and arrogant. Coach does it again. A typical lie to cover a team with no plan. Hopes are dashed with another lost season. Was it Pace who hired Fox or was it ownership's reasons? Questions fill up and no straight answers ever given. When it comes to state of the Bears in the 80s still living. Who the fuck is Mike Glennon? The Barroom kept asking. An open competition, Giraffe Gaff never happened. Laughing all the way to the bank. Kept putting Glennon on the field to start, but he stank. Coaching negligence with more drops than Josh Bellamy. Fans so used to losing cost of tickets is the felony. Timeouts used only to get delayed penalties. Another great week of practice will be the remedy. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. John Fox confused the close call against the challenge. 2017 virtual snaps at Hallis. Glennon's still a captain, opposing teams laughing. You laughed at Buck fumble, then the knee pass happened. Conservative approach, finally playing the gunslinger. Keep him cuffed, young Buck, Fox stupidity lingers. First win on the road in over 2 seasons. Almost gave the game away if Howard doesn't trust Ravens. Day to day, of course, a frequent line he likes to throw. 10 minutes later, the player's done per rapaport. Coach Fox, arrogant, he's 11-27. This is the coach you hired. In 3 years, he's worse than Tressman. Testing, 1-2, a joke on Espin. Fire John Fox would beat the Bears' best win. Down the field turf, stop adding up slip counts. Get Fox the pick, slip to the curb, we kick out. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Yeah. Fire John Fox. Fire John Fox, fire plan, fire Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire Fox, 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 fire John Fox, fire John Fox, yeah. Fire John Fox. Just fire that motherfucker. To my boy, the smartest man in the barroom. Who could forget the Godfather, Aldo Gandia, the barkeep, Firefox. Hashtag that up, make it happen. Barflies unite!
The following program contains adult content and may not be suitable for some children. I guess it really depends on how mature your children are. Not that they're not mature, I'm not saying that. I mean, geez, when I was a kid, I didn't have a clue. The first time I saw Playboy magazine, I turned beet red. I still do sometimes. I didn't have sex until I was 26. I wonder if this is the part of the show they were talking about with the adult content. I hope not. I'd like to see a lot more than just this. I mean, you know.
Cheers, Bears fans! This is Bears 100 Proof, and if you're listening to this podcast on Wednesday, October 25th, you are among the very first barflies to hear the premiere of Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian's original production of Firefox. I am Aldo Gandia, and Shane Marsaw and I are the first to publicly congratulate the doctor on a truly sensational song. Way to go, Phil. Awesome job. Phil, take a bow, baby.
Well,
We don't need him any lower than he already is, Aldo.
That was truly
no,
sensational.
Shane should be bowing down to me with all these lyrics I wrote.
That's right. I told him I throw around compliments to Phil like manhole covers. I told you guys that, but I got to give him some major props for coming up with that song. And I got to throw some love Dustin's way, too. He actually came on our show tonight and admitted that he is a virgin until 26 years old, right there in the second part of the opening. So little shout out to Dustin.
Way to go, Dustin. Saving it, man. Phil, you got to tell us how you came about this production. And just before we started rolling, you told me something that just floored me that I didn't know. Go ahead and just let people know how you came up with the idea. Tell us about how you put it all together, because that is really just something out of a professional Hollywood studio.
Well, I was inspired by the Godfather, Aldo, and his bear up, bear down raps. Shane's always challenging me you need to write a song for the show. Going backstory, Aldo, in 1993, Draft Dr. Phil was MC Full Phil, making a mill, and I had a record deal with G Street Records, and just like the record company industry, things fall apart. People are shysters, and it kind of soured me on the business. And then I got into it again a little bit, and then I just put that in the library of talent. And then the inspiration came up with Aldo doing his raps and Shane really pushing, and then the Firefox campaign hit the tracks, and it all collided at once. And I said, you know what? If we're going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I came up with a hook. It came to me in 10 minutes, Aldo. I sat down. I'm like, I need a good hook. And I was thinking of Firefox, and I just put it together. And then I wrote the lyrics, did the music, and the backup vocals, too. Every bit of that song is me.
Is amazing. I'm figuring there's 3 hot chicks in the studio singing those background vocals, and you ruined my fantasy dream by telling me it was you.
Oh, it's AC and the Bears girl.
Yeah, do you know how hard I had to squeeze his balls to get him to go that high with vocals, Aldo? God, I was the one that put in the dirty work. Don't give him all the credit here.
Holy cow. Now, we're going to work on a music video of that song, and I'm going to call all the radio stations on Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, play it for them, and hopefully we're going to get this thing out there. I want all of our barflies to retweet this thing, to put it on social media, to play it for friends, because this thing really has a hook. Phil has been playing it for people. Shane has been playing it for people. I've been playing it for a few people. And everybody is saying that this thing sounds like a record that you were here on a top 40 radio station. It really is phenomenal. I'm really proud of you, Phil.
I really appreciated it, Aldo. It was inspired by you, this show, and the worldwide barflies, really, because it was that culture that we've built that inspired the creativity. You know, I work in a field with many people from many different backgrounds and cultures, and today a buddy of mine was able to play the song for these people that obviously, I think about 400 co-workers are Bears fans. But not only were they grooving and they all want copies of this song, I can't believe it's you. So Bears Barroom Radio Network's first single by their artist, Full Phil, out, Draft Dr. Phil, bringing Firefox to, you know, a home and a country near you for the Bears Barroom, Aldo. I had a blast doing it. My whole family got involved in it, and it's just an extension of what we have that's special at Bears Barroom Radio.
And I wanted to ask all of our barflies out there, all of our people listening in, if you have any ideas on how we can further promote this, please let me know. Drop me a message on Twitter, direct message. My email is aldo, ALDO, at nfcnbarroom.com. Whatever we can do to spread the word about this brilliant piece of creative, but also our message about Firefox. And today, today being Tuesday as we record this, I posted a story on bearsbarroom.com about the Firefox campaign and about the criminal acts behind what John Fox is doing to quarterback Mitch Trubisky, and also posted one of the videos that we've already received from one of our listeners, Bears Girl from Canada. I'll play that a little later for you. But this thing is really creating a groundswell, and we really, really need you to take it to the next step. So Phil's done his role. He's just going to sit back and wait for the Grammy nominations to come out. And,
well, one other point just to get in there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Easter eggs in the lyrics, so if you really pay attention to it, you'll hear a lot of why the Bears Barroom. If you're a big barfly, and there's a lot of you out there, if you listen close, you'll get a bunch of Phil, Shane, and Aldoisms in the vicinity of the 32 bars.
Man, I'm just floored. Shane, you want to say one more thing about this piece of work, creative work, before we move on?
Yeah, I will give up one little Easter egg that people might not be aware of. Phil actually recorded this song in Sandy Tom's hometown of Japan. So it was, we got some help overseas. So little shout out to Sandy there for opening up his house to Phil.
I didn't know that.
The Sandy Tom Studios.
Very good.
Yes, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Guys, 1 second. I gotta go. My son knocked the blind down.
Okay.
So I gotta go put it. But you could set it up, and I'll be right there.
All right.
Oh, my God.
I am totally amazed with Phil on that, though. I do got to give him major credit. Holy shit.
I am telling
Pretty
you, man,
amazing.
I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass. Everybody that I'm playing that for is just amazed.
Yeah. It's too bad he couldn't put that shit on iTunes and see if he can make some fucking money off of it.
Yeah, well, I think we have to figure out how to do that. Yeah, and the only thing that I'm going to mention to him
Record
is...
a video.
There he is.
Aldo, we're going to do something for Firefox.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to record you saying something. Shane
Not
will
right
write
now.
up. No, not today. Not now.
No, couple hours, Steph.
Couple hours, Shane said, about midnight.
I know, like, when tomorrow am I gonna?
You actually look really good right now.
I look good, maybe, but
Uh-oh, hold on.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Now, back to our show.
Once you start, I mean, I must have heard it at least in the vicinity of 85 times now. And I honestly am not being conceited or arrogant. I'm like, this shit is so good. It's so catchy.
That doesn't sound conceited at all.
I didn't want it to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, I do.
Holy shit. Like, this came to me like I couldn't believe it. Like, when I really honest said, let me sit down and write this.
Hey, I'm gonna
The hook.
I'm gonna
I
give
texted you guys the hook when I first came up with it. That was the starting point of the song.
I'm going to give you
Go
the
ahead,
ultimate. I'm going to give you the ultimate compliment, and that is that we're actually saying nice things about you behind your back.
Yeah, we were.
You're not talking shit about me anymore.
You were out there taking care of your son and stuff, and Shane and I are saying this shit is really good. All right, let's get back into it. This is one of the videos that we received, and it is from our friend in Canada, Bears Girl. She's letting people know that the Firefox campaign is alive and well. This is what she sent us.
Hey guys, you know it's time when even Canada has had enough. Firefox. Just don't send them up here. We already took Tressman back. I got a boner!
Well done, Canada. Really nicely done. Thank you very much for that video. And we're asking all of our bars flies to send us some video, send us some pictures, send us whatever creative you have that gets the message across that we've had enough of John Fox. And if you don't agree with us, well, then continue to listen, because for the next 10-15 minutes, we're going to talk about the transgressions that John Fox has made against the Chicago Bears and why it really is necessary for the development of quarterback Mitch Trubisky, for the success of this franchise, to get a new head coach. And maybe the time to do that is in a couple of weeks when the bye week hits. So, Shane, let me begin with you. Tell us some of the reasoning behind your feelings that John Fox is better.
He's keeping the streak like Mike and Court talks.
What is that? 3-4 shows in a row now that I've asked Shane for.
4 shows in a row. Shane, let's start with you.
What was Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak? 56.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Shane, please share your thoughts, and then we'll get to Phil's 20-minute opening comments.
Yeah. Well, to me, guys, I mean, it's not rocket science here. My biggest concern, like I pointed out going into last offseason, being the year of the quarterback, it's still my biggest concern. To me, yes, we have the young budding defense, and we have a solid offensive line, a couple good running backs. But to me, for this team to make the next step, I think Mitch Trubisky has to be the main focus, and whatever we can do to surround him with the best possible tutors that are going to help him, bring him along and put him in the best possible positions, even if you're dealing with injuries or anything like that, and just to help develop him, because I mentioned this last night on Bears Hour Live. This none of this is about 2017. We see a guy like Carson Wentz taking that year 2, that huge leap, and yes, they've made some big signings with Alshon on the outside and Torrey Smith, to give him some speed. The Bears are going to be right involved in that in free agency, but there's so much development that goes on behind the scenes, and yes, we do have a little 2-game winning streak here, but it's just, to me, it's you're teetering on really stunting the growth and really neutering one of the best attributes that Mitch has, and that's his, playmaking ability and having that killer instinct where he wants to, have that gunslinger mentality where he's not afraid to stand in there and take the big hit and still, try to make that big pass that can really change the tide of a game. And that's really my biggest fear with John Fox moving forward. I don't think he's a good football coach in general, but he's definitely not a guy that's going to procure a young quarterback. And I mean, you could just look throughout his coaching history, and that's totally proven out. So whatever Ryan Pace and George McCaskey have worked out behind the scenes, I'm just I think we're all in unison here at the bar room that we hope whatever is in store for us these next few months coming up, that it doesn't involve John Fox moving forward, because like I said, Mitch Trubisky's got to be the sole focus of this entire process moving forward.
Phil, jump in here, and if you want to break out into song at any time, I am totally for that, brother.
Yeah, I'll let the song speak for me tonight. I don't know if I'm going to drop any live lyrics until a few weeks. We gotta keep them guessing, Aldo.
Oh, yeah. I'm already working on booking you at the Aragon Ballroom here in Chicago.
I do bar mitzvahs.
Maybe I can book you at a George McCaskey birthday party or something.
Yeah, this coach and the whole situation is, there's no history there with Fox and the development of young quarterbacks. So the whole vibe and feeling that you're getting after, as Shane pointed out, I think 20 something passes over 2 games. It's not indicative of development. It's indicative of covering your own ass. And that kind of walking hand to hand isn't happening with John Fox. I hate to say it, because if it's not this year, then it's the next year. So really, Ryan Pace, what kind of options do you really have? That's why that was another check against Pace for me, and I know Shane too. If it was the year of the quarterback, that was the time to clean house with the coaching staff, hire your guy that you take your time to interview, and find the guy that you realize is going to walk step for step in winning and developmenting your homegrown talent, which hasn't happened here much. As you see Kyle Fuller growing up and fitting now. Now there's questions of whether or not he could be consistent or he should be here. Same thing has never happened across the other side of the football. Alshon walks. I shouldn't say never. It was Matt Forte, and maybe that's all I could think of right now. Matt Forte kind of grew up on the offensive side of the football. Other than that, you traded Greg Olsen out of town. Johnny Knox got hurt. Kyle Long switching from. So that isn't good. And when we talked last week about the Green Bay Packers being in the luxury suite when it comes to quarterbacks, not having to change in 26 years, the Chicago Bears finally take a quarterback in the top 5 for the first time since Jimmy Mack. So to expect a guy that has won 3 games throwing less than 7 passes, fool me once, shame on me. You're not fool me 3 times. There's a pattern here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Tim Tebow, Wanky, and now Mitchell Trubisky. Everything the bar room has stated with Shane and Aldo, I stand behind 100% because I feel like this coaching staff is going to put them and their best interests first. They're not going to recognize the lackluster approach to 2017 NFL football that you're going to take. Now, they're going to sell you on, ground and pound. We run the football. That's how we win. Don't make turnovers. Don't make mistakes. But really, ultimately, you have to throw the football in today's game. And once you get down, and I think Shane made this point very well, I just want to remake it. Once you get down, there's nowhere to hide. So now you're doing a disservice to this young football player because now the expectation, as well as what we're seeing, Aldo, and I know we're going to talk about that, the narrative being drawn up. He can't play. Look at him taking sacks. The national guys want to embarrass Pace and pile on. That's what sells. So now who's going to suffer? The guy under center. When you're really supposed to be helping him, you end up hurting him even more in the process because no matter what any football player or coach or anybody tells you that they're not listening to the outside noise, you can't go anywhere without it being on or talked about, or someone in your family worried, a grandmother accidentally mentioning it because she's concerned about her little baby. This is going to come back to you. So my thing now is to stop the Pop Warner trick-or-treat offense and start recognizing getting this kid confidence by throwing quick game. I don't care. Throw your bubble screens. Where did they go? All of a sudden, you don't even see them in the offense because they're so concerned about a turnover that if you're playing scared, you're not playing fast. The defense clearly is playing lightning fast. You're going to separate the tides and the whole thing's going to crumble. So it's time. There's a selfish side of everybody out there. And if you look in the mirror, you're saying to yourself, well, do I kind of want this coach to lose because I want him gone? And in the process, develop the quarterback? Are they hindering the quarterback? So everybody's having their processes in their heads of what to mortgage more. The coach staying because all of a sudden the team is winning, or getting rid of the coach because he can't hide from the losses and the preparedness that they lack. And that's the tug of war right now. But for us, it's clear after 3 years, we're celebrating your second win on the road. I think that speaks for itself. It's time to fire Fox, hashtag it up, trade the song, promote the song, Bears Barroom, tell your friends about it. It is going to be fun here, and we are always going to be here to break this down, Aldo, because the Fire Fox campaign is blowing up and exclusive.
Well, and I'm glad that you used the word fun because, we're going to handle this in a very fun manner. And while we're serious about the fact that we want John Fox gone from the organization, we're never going to take this so seriously. I mean, this is entertainment business, and in the entertainment business, people come and go. and John Fox has signed a multi-million-dollar contract where he's averaging over $4 million a year. So we're not kicking this guy out into the street. He's got a 7-room mansion that he lives in here in Chicago. So we're not doing anything here that's terrible. What we want is somebody truly representative of the Chicago Bears, a head coach who comes to work every day ready and determined to take this team to that 1985 Super Bowl level where the whole entire football world, all around the world, fans were just in love with these Chicago Bears. We want that back. We want that for fans who came onto this earth after that time and didn't experience that. And for Chicago sports fans, we want that time that we had during the Michael Jordan era and that we've experienced last season with the Cubs and with the Blackhawks. We want that for the Chicago Bears because that's the team that we truly love the most in Chicago. And also, you know, what I'm seeing with Mitch Trubisky, I wrote about this at Bears Barroom. You know, this is a complete emasculation of this young man. When he went up to talk to the media after that game, I mean, he looked like he lost, not only lost a game, but that his balls were just cut out of him. And you could just tell that he's not happy with what's going on. He feels like he can do so much more for this football team if he's just given the opportunity to do so. But he's playing the good soldier as hard as it is for him. He's playing the good soldier and trying to put a brave face on. But what he's being put through is just not fair. Wouldn't you agree with me on that, Shane?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And I think one thing, Phil kind of alluded to this. I know what I'm going to say sounds really awful. We've dealt with so much losing over the years, but at the same time, it's got to be said, guys, the 2017 season, it's the most important thing for this season is the development of Trubisky.
Right.
Because you don't want to head into 2018 with him, you know, learning more on the fly. I mean, you see, like I said, just to refer back to Carson Wentz, they put him out there and he, you know, they didn't really restrict him with anything. And I mean, if you want to talk about a depleted wide receiver core, look what Carson Wentz had to work with last year. Yep. I mean, he ended up throwing, I think, 16 touchdown passes and 14 interceptions, but they're reaping the rewards this year because of the, you know, experience that he gained in 2016, and that's my biggest fear with the Bears. Like Phil said, you know, we had a chance at the midway point of the season to hit that 500 mark, which probably not a lot of people were really expecting because there was quote unquote experts out there that were saying, you know, these Chicago Bears can actually hit 0-8, possibly 0-9, you know, before they get their first win. Well, here we are, you know, we could possibly be, if we go down to New Orleans and squeak out another road win, hit that 4-4 mark. And where is that line of demarcation where, you know, how many W's is enough for John Fox to stay? And I think that's a legitimate question at this point, and I just don't have faith that John Fox or Dowell Loggins, for that matter, are the best thing for this quarterback.
You gotta have faith. The faith. Who gotta have faith?
There's our next single. But
there it is. There's the hook.
You just don't want to lose out on these, you know, you hear all these coaches say every single rep matters. And it's true, and it's especially true with a guy like Mitch Trubisky. And he's been neutered so much that what is other than seeing stacked boxes, yes, there's always something for him to learn. But is he learning enough every week with this stripped down, you know, prehistoric offense that the Chicago Bears are running? And like I said, let me turn it around to you guys. How many wins is enough for John Fox this year to have him back in 2018?
To infinity and beyond.
Playoffs.
It's a hard. Yeah, you think that's what it is? Playoffs or bust?
Yeah.
I just feel as though I think a lot of fans say, no, they'll never do that. They'll never. They've said that to me on this show and prior to another show, that they would never fire Phil Emery and Trestman. They did it. Now, at some point, they got to get this thing right. I don't think John Fox survives despite the narrative, I guess, the national media already tugging that way, Aldo. They want to see him stay.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a great coach. What has he done? What has he done? Nothing. So I think he doesn't make the playoffs. I think Pace has to fire him. There's no other way.
I totally agree with that, Phil. We see, overall, Lovie Smith had a much better track record here in Chicago, and yet we saw him get let go after a 10-win season just because you didn't see the overall maturity of the offense moving forward. I think that was really, the impetus to let Lovie go after that 10-win campaign. And I think if there's people out there, we saw Greg Gabriel put out a tweet that people are really fooling themselves if they think that the Bears are going to get rid of Fox after this year. He said that they're not and that Fox will be back. Well, that's a story for another day if that's, legitimate or however we want to read into that. But there is a blueprint there for the Bears to move on from a coach, with money left on his deal. They did it with Trestman. They did it with Lovie. And hopefully they're going to do it again here with Fox if they're not seeing that upward trajectory that makes management and ownership happy. And I need to hear anybody come forward and tell me the reasons why a John Fox-led Chicago Bears team is the best thing for Mitchell Trubisky moving forward. Give me one reason why he's the guy that would be best for that. And I think I'll be waiting a very long time to hear one positive from somebody, because I just do not see it. I think he's a detriment overall to Mitch Trubisky, and I think you guys are in full agreement with me there.
I agree
Absolutely.
with you, Shane. And the one thing that concerns me a little bit is that when George McCaskey had that famous press conference where he said Virginia McCaskey was...
She's pissed off. I can't think of a 91-year-old woman that description would apply to. But in this case, I can't think of a more accurate description.
McCaskey said the identity of the Chicago Bears is that we are a defensive team, and we are going to get back to that. Well, with the arrival now of this defense, is the McCaskey family going to pressure Ryan Pace to keep the coaching staff that has brought the defense back to its rightful place of prominence? Or are they going to be smart enough to realize that they can bring in a new head football coach who is going to develop your franchise quarterback and the team still maintain this emerging defense? That's my only concern, because we can't assume that the McCaskeys are going to do the right thing,
Right. It's a great point, Aldo. And I mean, if you want to turn that right around and put it right back in George McCaskey's lap, if they feel that way, then they should say that they should walk up to Vic Fangio and say, we're going to make you the most lucrative offer and make you the highest paid coordinator in the history of the NFL just to stay here. But we want to bring in a guy on the other side of the ball that's going to develop our quarterback, and then you really have the best of both worlds. I mean, if it's going to come down to that, then I don't see how. I think that's going to come down to how Vic feels about it, and I do have in the back of my head that he's gone no matter what for some reason. I think we all kind of expect that at this point. It just seems like there's something brewing there kind of behind the scenes with Vic Fangio. But if that's the case and that's how they feel like that, they're going to have to do something to keep some continuity on the defense. But we thought last offseason was a fun one. This is either going to be the most exciting offseason in the history of the Chicago Bears franchise, or we're going to be a lot of pissed off Bears fans if it's status quo.
It's going to be a lot of barflies on the ledge.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Phil.
There's going to be a lot of barflies standing on the ledge.
Yeah.
We'll be right there with you, barflies.
I know. Someone better have a freaking net down there.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I might be the first one jumping off. Trust me.
The other thing, it's not like Shane's point hasn't been done. It happened to our guy with 10-6 record in Tampa, Lovie Smith. They went out from underneath him and hired Cutter and got rid of Lovie as the head coach, and then kept most of their staff in Tampa.
Did Phil just throw his love to Dowell Loggins being promoted to the Chicago Bears head coach, Aldo? Is that what just happened?
No, I was on the other side.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Shane. This scenario is definitely happening at a dinner table in some restaurant in downtown Chicago. I can see Sweaty Teddy. Let's take you in the virtual video movie room. There's Sweaty Teddy. Give me a little sound effect of some guy nervous. He doesn't know if the McCaskies are going to fire him finally. He's been living off their wealth for a long time. You got Michael and George, and you got Mama Bear sitting there. And they're going to make the decision on the coaching staff. The scenario about keeping the defense is going to be their golden goose. That game that the street guy plays with the 3 cups and the ball under the cup. I feel like this has gone on too long. You haven't won with great defense since '85. It's time to recognize you need to get an offensive guy in here. Ditka, by the way, was an offensive guy, special teams coach, offensive philosophy. If that's how you're going to have to sell it to them, they need to understand that this quarterback is so critical to the next 10 years of this franchise that someone in here that specializes in quarterback and offensive play is and has to be the head coach. And I don't care what lengths you got to go to interview them, but keep this guy out of the freaking interviews.
You as long as I've been with you guys have heard me, you know that I detest anything Philadelphia Eagles, and it pains me to say this, but they have it figured out. I mean, they made the move for Carson Wentz. They get up there and they get their guy, in the draft. But what did they do? They bring in a backup quarterback, Doug Peterson, to be their head coach. Their offensive coordinator was a backup quarterback, Frank Reich. And, they're surrounding their quarterback with other quarterbacks that have, seen.
You don't like Sanchez, Dowell, and Ragone?
and I don't think they're quite on the same level. But and I'm not. Maybe this is just me grasping at straws here, but I think there's a lot of. I think Ryan Pace looked into the Philadelphia plan quite a bit because the move. Yes, it was only moving up one spot, but you saw him kind of, make the big move up for his guy. He signed the veteran, just like the Philly did with Chase Daniel and Sam Bradford, and then still went out and invested in the young quarterback. But then I think I'm not going to be surprised if Ryan Pace isn't kind of looking at that same type of situation after John Fox to surround Mitch with, these offensive, especially quarterback driven guys, an offensive coordinator and a head coach. And then you still see Philadelphia, they have Jim Schwartz, who is an attacking defensive coordinator, and Philadelphia's got, yes, they're lacking at cornerback, but they still have an excellent defense and one of the best defensive lines in all of football. So I mean, it's definitely something that you can have really the best of both worlds, and really Philadelphia at this point is providing you with the blueprint to get there.
I want to break in here with a request for you guys. I'm looking at my TV screen here as we record on Tuesday night for a Wednesday release, and the World Series game is on. Game 1, Houston Astros. When did the Houston Astros go to the American League? I haven't been following baseball very close. Houston Astros are...
I don't even know what league they're in either.
Yeah, this is weird. And the Houston Astros are the Dodgers still playing at Chavez Ravine, Shane?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's 1-1 in the bottom of the 5th, and I'm really sensitive to the fact that Shane wants to and should be enjoying this game with his father, who is in his 70s and is a lifelong, very, very passionate Dodgers fan. So I want to switch some things around here, get things, some of our features out of the way here, so that at any point, if Shane says, hey, I got to go, I want to enjoy at least the last 2 or 3 innings with my dad, we can accommodate him. And so if that's cool with you guys, what I will do is play the following.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that you love to hate and shove. He'll find your tweet, and he ain't gonna be sweet. Because it is that time. The smartest man in the bar room brings you the dumbest tweets of the week.
Oh yeah, very well done, Phil.
Yeah.
I think instead of my smartest man sound, I think I deserve MC Fulfill special, don't I, Aldo? Can I get my own song?
Yeah,
Phil?
I'm gonna start working on this song hook. Maybe a couple of barflies have some hooks, ideas. They could send them my way, and I'll get on that song.
Yeah, hey,
there you go.
Shane, you don't want me to come up with it?
Well, you're talking about being on that ledge, Aldo. Maybe we might push you over when it comes to your singing career, but we still love you.
Good call.
So yeah, we're gonna jump right into this, the worst tweets of the week segment here. And I'm going to throw things back to an old friend, he's pretty much owning the segment, Mr. Matt Miller at NFL Draft Scout. He was on Score Radio earlier today, and I was listening to him, and I said, yeah, if you could only listen into our dumbest tweets of the week segment in a few hours, you would hear me giving you some props for your shitty ass tweets. But yeah, Mr. Miller was asked, how do you grade Chris Ballard's first year in Indy? And I know that's not Bears related, even though Ballard was a former Chicago Bear, from years ago. But I thought it was kind of funny because Miller's response was he gave him an incomplete grade because it's only week 7. And that's way too early to grade last year's draft. And this is the same Matt Miller that, within 12 hours after the Mr. Irrelevant was called, had Ryan Pace, an NFL exec, as soon as the draft was over, texted Bleacher Report and told Matt Miller Ryan Pace got himself fired with this draft.
Perfect. Good old Matty Miller.
Yeah, we can always count on NFL Draft Scout with his shitty tweets. But so yeah, he seems to be a staple week after week on this little segment here. So we'll have to look next week to see if he can come back and visit us again. But it's too early to grade the draft in October, but yet he does it 12 hours after the draft is over in May. So yeah, props to you, Matt Miller. One of the shittiest tweets of the week.
You are so dumb. Damn.
Well, and I don't have a problem if we want to name this segment the Matt Miller Dumbass Tweet of the Week.
Yeah, he's definitely a runaway winner at this point, it seems like.
You got the Mike D shout-out segment. We might as well have the Matt Miller Heath Evans dumbest tweet of the week.
Absolutely, yeah. Every time we hear Matt Miller's name, you gotta do the flushing toilet drop for us, Aldo.
I know.
It seems like it'd
Aldo's
be perfect.
slipping on the drops. We don't have any toilet flushes.
I do.
We didn't have any diarrhea drops.
Man.
Fucking Heath Evans. Just.
Where are you? There it is.
There we go.
Oh my God. Nice. The only problem with that is with Matt Miller, I'm gonna have an overflow problem, so I better have the plunger.
Yeah, just keep the plunger handy. That's for
exactly. All right. Do we usually play the music for the second one?
Yes.
Okay.
This guy. Where's Justin? I don't know if I could do it. I'm laughing. Whether in Ireland or Scotland, France or Japan, he'll find your tweet because he's the smartest man.
Yeah. This guy is talented. Oh my God! I am his agent, folks.
Very good.
Of the week.
So, if you want to book Draft Dr. Phil for any occasion, if you want some songwriting, if you want him to perform live, if you want him on your radio show, you call me, Aldo Gandia, because I'm his agent. Well done.
All right, this is this next dumb tweet of the week is another old friend, but he's taken a little vacation for the last few weeks from this segment, and that is at Real Mike Wilbon.
Oh,
everybody's friend,
Jesus.
Mike Wilbon. Yes.
Wilbon.
After the
Wilbon. You can hear it say Wilbon if you listen.
That's good.
After the Bears game the other day, and I mean it's one of those things, guys. Mike Wilbon tweeted out, "Psycho fans can slurp the kid quarterback if they want to, but some vintage Bears defense won this game today. More sacks than first down beat the Panthers." And yes, that's an obvious statement, but you can just see.
No. Really?
You can see where Mike Wilbon is going with this. And he's going to...
Narrative.
Yeah, exactly. His narrative, throwing out there, the psycho fans can slurp the kid quarterback. I mean, just, if you want to give the defense props, go out there and give the defense props. This is...
Exactly, Shane.
He can't trash Jay Cutler because he's not in Chicago anymore. So he's turned his attention to Mitch Trubisky, only attempting 7 passes. Like that's, like Mitch Trubisky is controlling that. But it's Mike Wilbon trying to get a rise out of fans. And I know people aren't supposed to react to that, but I'm not built that way. I read stuff like that and it pisses me off. And you see more and more of it. So, pardon the interruption. You're a dumbass, Mike Wilbon, and you have shitty tweets. But I am a Psycho fan, and I will slurp the kid quarterback when he deserves the slurping, however you want to phrase that. But if you want to give the defense props, like I said, go out there and give them props. You don't have to try to tear the kid down when it's unwarranted. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Can I piggyback off this? Because I wanted to make sure I got this point in tonight. And this is the perfect time for it. Trubisky.
Before you finish that, I just want people to know that I'm taking a piss on Mike Wilbon's picture right now. Go right ahead.
So Mitchell Trubisky throws the deep ball over the middle to Tariq Cohen. Cohen runs in and scores. Follow me here now, guys. Next, or Mitchell Trubisky rolls to his left, dives into the end zone, gets the ball over, no knee down. The whole narrative of Mitchell Trubisky changed in one play. That's why you don't listen to these frauds. You have to watch the whole picture, and that starts with the coach and the play caller, and that's the story of Mitchell Trubisky's narrative that's being drawn up. And Shane is pointing this out expertly. There was no need whatsoever to take a shot at Mitchell Trubisky unless there was an ulterior motive. And that motivation is to fire people up and get more page clicks and really start a debate and discussion. Don't be fooled by this bullshit. Just please follow this show. You can not like me, that's fine. But I don't want you to be lied to, and I don't want you to be fooled. So I wanted to make sure you really put it into perspective. If Cohen runs into the end zone, it's a 78-yard touchdown pass. Mitchell made a big play when he had to. Bears 21-3. They won at least. The whole energy changes. It didn't happen. He didn't get in when he dove for the touchdown. And now we're going to run ragged on this whole narrative. And it's bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit.
You know, you are so right that, we're seeing it over and over and over again, particularly with the national media, that they don't watch the game. They're looking at box scores. They have this uninformed opinion about what's going on with the Chicago Bears. I mean, it was, a week or two ago when we were hearing national media people talk about how poor the Chicago Bears defense was, how this team didn't have anything.
That's right.
I mean, it's embarrassing. I was talking to my brother about this because he went on a Mike Wilbon rant, too. I was going to record him, but he was so damn drunk, it would have just sounded all garbled.
You'd have fit right in.
Really, and but and I told him, we cannot rely on the national media to give us an accurate portrayal of what's happening, not only with the Chicago Bears, but with just about any other NFL team, unless it's in Philadelphia or out in the East Coast or so forth. Because what's happened time after time, we've seen it for years, is just misreporting on the facts. They don't spend the money to hire a producer and a reporter to follow the team day to day. And then what makes it even more frustrating is that you have some of the Chicago beat reporters who also aren't getting the job done. They're not watching the tape. They're misinformed too. They've got their own agenda. You can see it between the lines. You can hear it when they talk on their podcast. You can read it in between the lines when they're writing their bullshit. They've got an agenda too. And so, and I'm not here to toot the horn of Bears Barroom or anything, but you are an idiot. The one thing that you're going to get here is you're going to get honesty.
Blah, 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 blah.
You're going to get honesty, and we welcome debate. We tell us that we're wrong. We're going to listen fairly and so forth. And if we've made a mistake, hey, I was the guy that was blasting Ryan Pace with the selection of Mitch Trubisky, and now I'm singing a different tune, and I'm glad to admit that I was wrong. Excuse my long diatribe here, but I'm just fed up with the national media, just totally fed up.
Yeah, it's totally true, and not to extend this to a third shitty tweet, but Phil shared a tweet with us earlier from @Greg Rosenthal, and he said John Fox has taken some grief because of Trubisky's 7 attempts, but there were 4 sacks, a fumble, 2 scrambles. A lot of that was on Trubisky. Well, I mean, Rosenthal's just admitting right there that he obviously is just going through the box score and writing things down, and didn't take 30 minutes out of his day to review just some of the game himself. And not all of these Chicago Bears fans are like us that are watching the All 22 and losing valuable work hours for our employers by focusing on the Chicago Bears. They're not all, total deviants like we are when it comes to the Chicago Bears, but people that do follow the Chicago Bears a little bit, they go out there and read something like that, and they're going to come away with, wow, the Bears traded up to number 2 for this Trubisky kid. He obviously is terrible. Just from reading that right there, and there's so many layers to this, and it's really sad to see, and I don't know why. I think it all comes down at the end of the day, like I said, guys, the Bears just haven't won enough. I mean, not to make this an Eagles podcast again, but...
Oh no! Not again!
We saw a statue being built for Carson Wentz last year in weeks 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And, he couldn't do anything wrong on the national level. Now they're talking about him as an MVP candidate. And here we are. Mitch Trubisky got 7 pass attempts, and people are saying it's his fault because he scrambled and got sacked 4 times. You got to be kidding me. It's craziness.
Mike Wilbon.
You stupid.
They're not.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
You stupid.
I love that.
All right.
Oh, yeah. It's that time of the show again where you check with your friend to make sure that they're listening in to the smartest tweet of the week with the smartest man in the bar room, Shane Moneyman Marsaw.
All right.
Hey, that's me. Perfect.
And I was going to say, not every great artist has a hit.
I wasn't going for the rest.
All right, Shane, what you got?
Yeah, so this tweet, I think we've all seen some form of it floated around Twitter over here the last couple of days, but the first time that I came across it is from Dan Walker, and that's at D_W_P. He actually tweeted to our own at FulfillO that it's laughable. Carolina in 2006 on Christmas Eve threw the ball 7 times and they won. In 2011, Denver throws 7 passes by Tim Tebow and they won. In 2017, Chicago throws 7 passes and they win. And who is the head coach in all 3 of those instances, guys? You have any guesses?
Common denominator.
What is the common denominator? Right, exactly. Mr. John Fox.
Mm-hmm. Fire John Fox.
Yes.
Fire John Fox.
It's not a plan, it's an anthem. Yes, absolutely. So. But, you look back at these stats, and I see Gil Brandt tweeted out the same thing today, and they're making it out to be a credit to John Fox. And I guess maybe, yes, you can throw a little bit of love his way for it, but I'm not going to throw very much his way because, to me, he hasn't developed the quarterback. He didn't in Carolina. I don't know how much credit you want to give him to Jake Delhomme. He did have some of his best seasons there, but Denver, he certainly didn't develop Peyton Manning. And I guess do we want to give him some love for Matt Barkley, that superstar in Chicago? But, you see this pattern there, and they all did result in wins. But at the end of the day, it's not for the betterment of the franchise's long-term viability and long-term success. If you have a viable quarterback, you're going to be viable in the NFL because it's a quarterback-driven league. You either have one or you don't, and that's the difference between, contending for the playoffs year after year, like we see in Green Bay, like we see in, even in Detroit with Matthew Stafford, even though he has his faults. He's a viable NFL quarterback, and if you have that, it gives you a chance year after year. And I just don't see that happening I don't think Mitchell Trubisky will reach the heights or the expectations that I have for him with John Fox and Dowell Loggins at the helm here. So I want to give Dan Walker at D_W_P. I want to give him some props because that was the first time that I saw that tweet. He was the first one that I saw send it out. So he is my Dan Walker is my winner of Tweet of the Week here at the Bar Room.
Congratulations, Dan. You will soon receive in the mail absolutely nothing.
I thought you were going to send him a nice hat. Boy, Danny Walker.
I got to get these prizes going because we owe a lot of people a lot of stuff.
We got T-shirts.
Yeah, I'll get on it. Hats. I promise. All right, so
Canada
Japan, deserves a
Thailand,
hat. Everybody deserves something. All right, so here we go. It is the bottom of the sixth. The Dodgers are batting. It's 1-1. Who is this guy that's hitting? Shane, this guy hit a home run in the first inning, first pitch, right? Justin Turner.
Oh, that's that Chinese dude. I don't give a fuck.
Send your cards and letters to Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian.
Justin Turner, yes, they call him Animal from the Muppets. My son refers to him as the garden gnome.
Oh.
He thinks he looks like a garden gnome, but yeah, he's a hell of a player.
He hurt the Cubs too, right? Last week.
Great, we lost 12 listeners.
He wasn't the only one that hurt the Cubs. Sorry, Cubs fans.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Bear Up, Bear Down, and there is no effing way that I am going to do a rap this week.
I got to write Aldo's raps, and he has to do them.
I'd be happy to do your raps, but because at least I'll get a chance to rehearse them. But I think what is much more appropriate to lead into the Bear Up, Bear Down segment is that we do this. Oh, yeah.
Yo. MC Full bringing it back for the Bears Barroom and the Barflies. Yeah. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Mumbling, grumbling, hammering, fumbling, stumbling. Coach John Fox another.
Oh, he's gonna hit another one, Shane. It's to the warning track.
Dash with another lost season. Was it Pace who hired Fox or was it ownership's reasons? Questions fill up and no straight answers ever given. When it comes to state of the Bears in the 80s still living. Who the fuck is Mike Glennon? The Barroom kept asking.
All right.
An open competition.
I hate to fade down on this piece of music.
You want to know the best part about that, Aldo? Do you have cable TV at your house or satellite?
Cable.
Exactly. See, your feed was about 6 seconds ahead of mine.
Oh, really?
You said he hit it out, and they hadn't even pitched the ball yet. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh shit! There it goes.
Justin
He
Turner
wasn't lying. We tell the truth.
Justin Turner makes it a 3-1 game. Dodgers on top in the bottom of the sixth. Let's do Bear Up and Bear Down so that Shane can run off and enjoy the rest of the game with his father. Who goes first this week?
Oh, that would be me. Thank God.
Okay, so we got theme music for this, right? Here it is. Oh yeah.
Go Aldo. Go Aldo.
I wish I had a rap, but I don't have a rap. So we will just who is his Bear Down. All right, brother, take it away.
Can you sing bachata?
Bachata. I don't know what the fuck that is.
This week, Aldo, is a tough one because, as we talked about on Bears Hour Live, the defense played a game of epic proportions. The dynamics of the game in and above itself, if you look back on it, I watched it 3 times now, and it's just, it gets better with age. It's like a fine wine. When you really study this game of football, just how good in unison that defense was playing to the football, filling their gaps, rushing the passer. that kind of stuff, as I said, it travels. Defenses will go where teams go, and they'll play with the swagger on the road. The noise doesn't bother them. So got to be excited about that. When I look at it, it's so hard because so many guys stepped up. But it became a neck-and-neck race for me when I just look at this. You know, you had Kyle Fuller, you got Amos, you have the young kid from Alabama just doing things.
Roll Tide roll.
You want to see the Tide roll, and he did roll for 2 touchdowns over 75 and 76 yards. That's an NFL record. I mean, how do I go against a record breaker? But for me, it all starts up front. I just can't get enough of this football player in Akeem Hicks. I waxed poetic last night about Trevathan, but when you watch the tape, Eddie Goldman was phenomenal, but Akeem Hicks is unblockable when he wants to be. He's a dancing bear, Aldo. I just look at a guy that is able to articulate the energy of the locker room as well as the vibes of this defense and where they want to go. And his answer to a reporter this week, I don't know if you have the audio of it, but he did not want to talk about Drew Brees. So there is some blood in the water, and that's a Phil Ottochian special. I love when NFL players take the game for what it is, because you don't get to play that game forever. So when you have the opportunity to reap the rewards, which he did and got paid, and you play to win every down, I am not going to overlook it. As great as Danny Trevathan was, Akeem Hicks is a dominant, as Shane said, a first-team All-Pro football player. And if you play like that, switching on both sides, playing end, playing 5 technique, playing defensive end on a 2-point stance, guy has become Fangio's Justin Smith, but more athletic than Justin Smith. And Smith was a really great defensive lineman, but this kid is special. And Akeem Hicks, you are my bear up of the week. I love you, bro.
This sounds like a soccer crowd cheering for Akeem Hicks. Let's get rid of that sound effect. But let me do this. I want to play.
That sound effect died with the U.S. soccer team.
Yeah, I guess it did. I want to play the opening 30-60 seconds of Akeem Hicks' Monday press conference. First up at the podium was Zach Miller, who really said some outstanding things. Maybe I'll tack it on to the end of the show about the offense and the need to have a balanced approach to the offense. And then Zach Miller sat in the press area, and then he was the first one that asked Akeem Hicks a question, and this was the interaction between the two of them.
I have one question. Where you adopted that sack celebration?
Man, you know what that was. That was a shout out to my boy, Willie Young. I had to reel me in a big mouth bass yesterday, but it was fun. It was fun. You're a great interviewer, by the way. I appreciate that, Zach.
I love you.
All right, stud. I stayed for your whole interview, though, just to let you know.
Miller is walking out after he asked the question. And Hicks lets him have it. I mean, that's the type of camaraderie that you love to see on a football team. And I couldn't agree more with Phil when he says you've got to have that mean edge. I grew up in the days with Dick Butkus, who famously said one time that he gets psyched up on the sideline by looking across the field, spotting the quarterback, and as soon as that quarterback smiles, he says, he's talking about my mother. I'm going to get that motherfucker. I'm going to kill him. And that's how you get ready for a football game. You've got to have that edge. You're not actually going to go out there to hurt somebody, maybe a little bit, but you're out there to battle like gladiators, because this is a gladiator sport. And I am so glad that Akeem Hicks is on that team and he's bringing that mentality. Shane, do you want me just to play the music or do you want me to rap?
Oh, God, I can't pass up you rapping out loud.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I prepared nothing for this. I prepared nothing for this. Doesn't matter because Shane's going to save the day. I don't know if he's doing bear up. I don't know if he's doing bear down, but he's doing something and he's going to save the day.
Phil, can you get a hold of your guys that gave you that record deal? Send them over to Arlington Heights and see if they can sign this guy.
I'm officially opening up Barfly's 2 lines. 2 lines for Aldo. He's got to do it next show. That's what we're rolling with from now on. Bear up and bear down's your theme for the lines.
Oh, man. I better start getting my shit together and prepare for
Isaiah
this.
Robles is going to be dropping some lines.
There you go.
There you go. I like that idea. All right, Shane, what do you got?
Shane's bear up.
Yeah, so the bear up, I mean, Phil put it right. There was so many guys on the defensive side of the ball to pick from. I mean, it's really hard to go wrong, and this isn't going to be my bear up, but I even had to, I think, how many times have you guys watched that block by Adam Shaheen? Rewatch that I'll just throw this out here. Nice. He's not my bear up, but that's the type of play that a young player makes that gets that confidence level up, that carries over to the next week. So look at a play like that, just that one big bruising block, and see if we see a little more confident Adam Shaheen down in New Orleans on that fast track, and maybe he makes a couple of plays down there, just getting that confidence level up. So we'll throw that out there. But it's like I said, Phil took Akeem Hicks. It's easy to go Danny Trevathan, Eddie Goldman, Kyle Fuller, Adrian Amos again, Eddie Jackson. But it's a guy that's overlooked on this defense that's just going out there week after week and doing his job. I'm going to throw some love to Prince of Mukamara this week. Wow. You don't hear that name a whole lot. He's, like I said, he's going about his business, but that one, he contributed to one of the biggest plays that we've seen in Chicago in quite a long time, that 76-yard interception return by Eddie Jackson by playing that slant perfectly and just getting his arm in there to pop that ball up in the air. And it was more than that. He's going about his business, and really you're not hearing his name too much because he's doing such a good job. And I don't want to overlook guys like that. He's here on a 1-year deal, just like Kyle Fuller is. And I'll be completely honest, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations for Mukamara, so he's exceeded my expectations here. And I think it's important that we throw some love his way, because he should get some recognition from the fans, because he's an easy guy to overlook on game day because you just don't hear his name too much. So, yeah, Prince of Mukamara is my bear up this week.
I like it. That's for you, Prince. Take a bow.
Prince.
Crown him. All right. Are we gonna
Little red Corvette.
Are we gonna do bear downs, or should we end here on a happy mood?
We're gonna do bear down. We gotta keep consistency.
Gotta do it.
All right. I just then let's let Shane go first in case he wants to leave.
Yes, I'll let him go first.
All right.
Oh, I'm good. My dad is 78 years old, but you know what? He still texts with the best of them. So I'm exchanging texts. His reaction was, "Holy fuck! Did you hear that? Did you see that home run by Turner? I woke your mother up, and she's yelling at me right now." So, gotta give my dad a little love there.
There you go.
But maybe it's a good thing you're staying home.
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, Shane, what's your dad's first name? And please don't tell me it's Sean.
No, his name is David.
David, all right. David,
Yeah.
we love you, David.
Dave Marsa. So I'm going to flip over to the other side of the ball. This is one of Phil's favorite players, and I don't know why. Fullback Michael Burton.
Oh, you took
Yeah. And I know exactly what play Phil was going to point out, too, because it was the same one on that. He had one goddamn block to make, guys.
Oh, my God.
Phil, how horrible was that? You know the exact play that I'm talking about.
I tweeted it out the minute it happened. I paused the game just because I was so freaking... Actually, I could swear. I was so fucking pissed off that you got one job to do.
Yep.
You got
that's
one
it.
fucking job. Eyeball white jersey.
Yeah.
Very white jersey.
Whiffed. Yeah, and it's just...
Went right by him, as if he wasn't there.
I know. And, you know, the Bears obviously saw something that, you know, he was going to bring to the table. And, I mean, we've heard Phil say it multiple times at this point. There's why he is getting more snap. I'm obviously not saying to play Kendall Wright at fullback, but, I mean, he's getting more offensive snaps than Kendall Wright is. I mean, what's There's no.
It's true. It's personnel crazy right here.
Yeah, it is. It's pure craziness. But you know, when your job, like Phil said, is just to see guy hit guy, and you see the guy and you miss him, then you don't deserve to be, you know, dressing on Sundays. You don't even deserve to be on the active 53. You know, bring over another wide receiver or anybody that can contribute. So, you know, Michael Burton, I'm still waiting for this, you know, philosophy that Chicago has out there. I guess it fits in with the 1950s offense that they're running with the fullback. But, yeah, Michael Burton is definitely my bear down of the week. And now I'll just sit back and listen to Phil scramble for who he's going to have for his, since I stole his guy.
Totally was my guy. I don't know if you heard the thunder clap.
Wait a minute, Burton's got to get his booze. That's an angry mob, Burton. I would get the hell out of town. All right, Phil, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I don't know if you guys heard the thunder clap that exploded here at out in Connecticut. While Shane was talking about Burton, God spoke to us.
That's weird. Dustin has the clap, and he's in Florida.
Dustin Reagan Padilla.
We should just put Dustin's like cartoon face on our 100 proof promo, like in the window in the background. He's looking in.
Oh, Dustin, you're in trouble. If Shane's going to make the cartoon face of you, you are in trouble. This I got to see. I'm sorry, brother, but I got to see this. All right, Phil, who do you got for your bear down?
Talk about scrambling.
Still looking for somebody, huh? I can suggest some people.
But when I look at this team, when Shane pulled Burton out, I really compelled to go with Coach Dowell. Low gains, no gains. Because here's why. And I don't know if I think I used a coach before. So is it okay,
Absolutely.
Godfather,
If you want to take the cheap way out, go ahead, Phil. Absolutely.
No, I mean the guy is wanted in the state of Illinois for a number of felonies. So please go ahead and put the cuffs on him.
Yes, Attorney Gandia, I thought you did a marvelous job of bringing an article in creativity and fact together, expertly running the option play there by showing the fan. That was a great piece. If you haven't seen it, go to the Bears Barroom. Wanted Dead or Alive. He's a cowboy on a steel horse Dowell rides. I can see the lightning strikes are coming down here in Connecticut. Dowell's getting kicked out of town. Yeah. Predictability, conservativeness, no feel. A professional football coach really needs to stand up and do what's best for his players. Always remember great coach saying to me, you don't run your offense, you run what your personnel's offense tells you to run. That is coaching, and that is being a leader of men and wanting to establish a winning culture here. Wins are going to come and go. As you guys said, they were writing us off and that defense off to begin the season. Now they're talking about them as the 85 Bears. I've seen comments. So when it happens 3 times, it's not luck. This is the 3rd time we've seen Dowell pull this conservative game out of his playbook. It needs to change, or he needs to go. And that's really where it boils down to for me. That's why Dowell, no gains, low gains, bro gains.
He's cracking himself up, Aldo.
Again.
You are my bear down of the week.
I thought you were going to go with the Soldier Field field crew.
Almost going to do that, Shane. It's funny. You read my mind. Can they just put down the field turf? I mean, it's embarrassing at this point.
Looked like Pee Wee football field on the sidelines there. That was embarrassing.
Oh my God. You need to tweet that out from the Barroom account. This is your professional field on a Sunday that look like that. It's absurd.
Well,
guys, we're gonna resod the field. Guys, it's a new sod out there. I just wanted you to know. Last week they had the Rolling Stones, and they've resodded for this game.
Never mind the
Remember when
rain.
they put what did they put down? The sawdust thing, remember?
Yeah, and they spray painted it green.
Spray painted it green.
Like, wasn't that in a playoff game? Look how nice this field looks. I mean, granted, it's sawdust in the end zone, but who fucking cares? It's crazy.
That is funny.
Is that actually the thunder that we're hearing?
No, I put that in. Hey, you want some more?
It's going in and out on my end. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you better take shelter.
Yeah, it's freaking going nuts here.
Really? maybe
Serious.
the sound effects.
Lightning strikes.
Maybe the sound effects is making it seem worse.
The dog hiding in the bathroom.
Oh, Phil! Are you okay, Phil?
Blame Canada.
Oh, man. All right, so let's wrap this thing up so Phil can, excuse me for Sean to go.
Sean.
Meet his father, Harry.
McLovin. Timmy.
Ooh, and there's only one way to wrap up this show, right? We're gonna have a sing-along, everybody.
MC Fulfill, bringing it back for the Bears Barroom and the Barfly.
Oh yeah.
Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom, sending
Wait
a message
for
to
Aldo
the fandom. Fire John Fox,
sing the
not
chorus
a plan
with
but
me.
an
There you
anthem. Bears Barroom, sending a message to the fandom. Mumbling, grumbling, stammering, fumbling, stumbling. Coach John Fox, another presser fan, humbling. Over and over and arrogant. Coach does it again. A typical line to cover a team with no plan. Hopes are dashed with another lost season. Was it Pace who hired Fox or was it ownership's reasons? Questions fill up and no straight answers ever given. When it comes to state of the Bears in the 80s still living. Who the fuck is Mike Glennon? The Barroom kept asking. An open competition, giraffe gap never happened. Laughing all the way to the bank. Kept putting Glennon on the field to start but he stank. Coaching negligence with more drops than Josh Bellamy. Fans so used to losing cost of tickets is the felony. Timeouts used only to get delayed penalties. Another great week of practice will be the remedy. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. John Fox confused the close call, forgets the challenge. 2017 virtual snaps at Hallis. Glennon's still a captain, opposing teams laughing. You laughed at Buck fumble, then the knee pass happened. Conservative approach, finally playing the gunslinger. Keep him cuffed, young Buck, Fox stupidity lingers. First win on the road in over 2 seasons. Almost gave the game away of Howard doesn't trust Ravens. Day to day, of course, a frequent line he likes to throw. 10 minutes later, the player's done per Rappaport. Coach Fox, arrogant, he's 11-27. This is the coach you hired. In 3 years, he's worse than Tressman. Testing, 1-2, a joke on Espin. Fire John Fox would beat the Bears' best win. Down the field turf, stop adding up slip counts. Get Fox the pick, slip to the curb, we kick out. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Yeah. Fire John Fox. Fire John Fox, not a plan but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire Fox, 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 Fire John Fox, Fire John Fox, yeah. Fire John Fox. Just fire that motherfucker. Shout out to my boy, the smartest man in the bar room. Who can forget the Godfather, Aldo Gandia, the barkeep, Firefox. Hashtag that up, make it happen. Barflies unite.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Remember, if you drink, please do not drive, and always bear down.
Bear down.
Block somebody, Michael Burton.
Please.
Or get the hell out of town.
That'll be the next song. Get Burton out of town.
Bears Barroom has their anthem. The Bears Brothers and their barbershop quartet doesn't have shit.
Hey,
who are the Bear Brothers?
If any of our listeners are still there, can you please let the Bears Brothers know that I've got, thanks to Phil, I've got Emery Hunt on Bears on Tap on Friday. So somebody please interrupt the Bears Brothers from reading their stats on their show to let them know that I've got Emery Hunt, thanks to Phil. Oh yeah! And then we got Buffon 55 Thursday live at 10 a.m. Central. And we might have some more surprises for you over the course of this week, because we're fired up that the Bears are winning, fired up about this defense, and fired up about Fire Fox, the new song that is sweeping the nation. We're going to play that again on the way out here.
Yeah, one more time when we still have the Mike D shout-outs.
Oh,
Timmy.
Yeah. You got to send me an instrumental version of the song.
I will. I'll text it to you.
Yo, MC Fulfill bringing it back for the Bears
bringing it
Barroom.
back. How many times have you listened to it? To me?
This is
John Fox, not
this
a
is
plan,
47.
but an anthem. Bears Barroom sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan,
I'm telling you, man, I am hooked on this.
Sending a message to the fandom.
My buddy's a big Bears fan in Connecticut, Chris Jackal and Chris Jones. They have listened to this song in their cars with their kids and families.
Really?
And said it's like therapy.
That is perfect.
So shout out to them.
All
Big
right.
fans of the Barroom.
We got to do a shout out to Chachi at Frankie Myers. He's a frequent stop by at our live show, Bears Hour Live, and he just 15 minutes ago, he posted a picture of Mitch Trubisky in wearing the outfit that Rick does in The Walking Dead, and with the quote, "Say run the ball again, motherfucker." Pretty boy assassin. Way to go, Chachi. And then he's got another one. He's got John Fox's face in Donald Trump's body, and the quote is, "Ryan Pace has made his final decision on John Fox. You're fired." Way to go, Frankie. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I want to see more videos and more graphics. Phil, you got some shout outs?
Yeah, I gotta thank our boys Timmy, Deacon, and Deacon. I was thinking about
6 foot Deacon.
I know. I was pissed, Al, though, because I wish my parents had named me Deacon, because then I probably would have been taller.
Yeah, you just automatically you gain 3 inches.
It would have been in the
birth.
name.
That's right.
There's science-specific proof of this.
And you get a bigger
Ask
dick.
Mike
I understand.
Shout out to Zeke, Mama Bear again, Bears Girl, Air Jer. There's so many fans. Condor over in Thailand, checking in, loving the show. Mamo, the Bear, the Prophet. How about, where is this guy? I wrote him down. Benjamin Driscola.
See, I was gonna
Big Ben.
I was gonna bring him up, but I wasn't gonna attempt that last name like you just did.
He must be Italian. Hey, doing, Ben? Benny.
Thanks for your support,
Cool.
Benjamin.
How about Josh Maragalina? I find out he's from Hawaii. He's probably Filipino. Joshy. Oh boy, Shane, you got any shout outs this week?
I'm going to shout out the Dodgers, Justin Turner, all the Cubs fans. No, I love all you guys. I'm just going to shout out the Chicago Bears defense. That's my biggest shout out. They're making that shift.
Yeah, there you go.
We're heading down to the Big Easy. We're going to go for win number 3 in a row.
I'm very excited about this game. I'm very excited.
I think Mitch is going to get a chance here, guys, to throw the football a little bit more. You get on that fast track. We might see some more Trubisky. He might get up into the teens in throwing. Think about that. Could be 13, 14 passes.
Let's take the training wheels off and let the man play some football.
I also want to say one other thing. Check out the Bears Barroom writers. Aldo's got some new writers bringing passion to the people. My boy across the pond, Kieran, bringing it. Proud of what you're doing, brother. Alec, L, bringing it. Proud of what he's bringing. And Schroeder, Kevin Schroeder bringing great. Chris Armstrong, Danny Scheiman, Aldo. The stuff Bears Barroom's pumping out there, it's something I'm proud to be a part of.
Thank you.
I hope you guys listening in are jumping into the Bears Barroom debates, backing them up, backing up the stuff. Go on iTunes, give us a review, like and subscribe, help this grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil, or Aldo, I think we have to shout out our boy over here, Phil, with this song, don't we? I mean, it's the best song that I've heard since Robert Zeglinski's Christmas Carols. So,
do you think me and Zeglinski could go in a one-on-one Eminem style rap battle?
Oh, I would pay to hear that. I mean, Zeglinski set the bar so damn low, Phil. You didn't have to do too much.
All right, fellas, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to play this song full loud. Shane, go enjoy the game with your father. And Phil, thank you very much for investing all that time and creative energy into this song. I'm going to play the shit out of it at home and on the internet. I'm going to be calling radio stations. We're going to get this thing trending.
We're making a video, Aldo.
Yes, we are. We are definitely making a video. And trust me, I'm going to pour as much of my creative energy into it as possible, and Phil is as well. And Shane, we need your input too. So the three of us are going to create a video that's just going to kick some ass.
I say we have Dustin play John Fox and we kick the shit out of him live on video. You guys think?
I love that.
There you go. You get the barflies, you singing the
that's
hook,
a good
and
idea.
We'll put you in the video.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
We'll take it.
We do one of those videos where you put the head on somebody who's losing a kickboxing match or something.
Lauren Cox can rub him down with Nutella.
Anthem, Bears Barroom, sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan, but an anthem. Bears Barroom, sending a message to the fandom. Fire John Fox, not a plan, but an anthem. Bears Barroom, sending a message to the fan. John Fox confused the call.
Oh, that'll be perfect. So you're going to call the radio stations tomorrow, Aldo?
Yeah, definitely going to call GN, the local ESPN here, and the Score.
Nice. Beautiful.
Jonathan Hood is on the Score right at night because he's the kind of guy that will definitely play this, and he'll want to interview Phil too. So he's the first guy I'm going to hit up.
Perfect. That'd be awesome.
There you go. Yeah, play it smart.
I will, brother.
I like that about you, Aldo.
Hey, sometimes I get off my ass and
all
actually
come
do
together.
something.
I know Shane was talking behind your back. He's like, dude, this guy puts great intros for Buffon. Me and you get Phil.
Oh, what are you throwing me under the bus? Those words never left my mouth.
Buffon gets the same one every week. You guys get custom.
That's right.
It was a cold day at Soldier Field. Shane Marceau.
That cost me $5 to pay that guy to do that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my God.
All right, fellas. Shane, get out of here, man. Go enjoy the game.
All right, guys. Enjoy the game.
Guys.
Good luck.
Later.
Take care,
All
fellas.
right, Aldo.
All right, brother.
Have a great night. That was fun.
Congratulations, man.